All right, guys, we just got out of the biggest movie of 2022 so far, The Batman. This movie has been pushed for like a year straight because of the pandemic, not because it was a bad movie or they just didn't want to release it, but it is out now. We officially got a chance to see it, and if there's only one thing I want to say, I never, ever, ever, ever want to hear people say, Twilight Boy is
never again
Batman. Yeah, no, Robert Pattinson is absolutely amazing in this movie.
He really was.
I've never seen anybody like talk with their eyes in a superhero movie, but the way Robert Pattinson makes eye contact with things and like makes expressions with his face, it says so much without actually saying anything at all. And he does this. He does this with Bruce Wayne. There's a great funeral scene where he's not talking; he's just looking around. But you're following his eyes, and you're like, you become his eyes. The way he looks at things, you're like, okay, where is he looking now? Okay, he's staring at that boy. Oh, now he's looking at the balcony. Oh, now he's looking over there by the police.
And you know, the whole time I was watching this movie, I was thinking, I did not get it. I didn't understand the Twihard fans in high school, and I was the right age, and I read all the Twilight books, and I went and saw all the movies, and I did not understand why all the girls were in love with him, and now I get it. Because
really,
look at him now.
Well,
he's transformed.
I do think he's more pretty in Twilight movies. He's more like
he
gothic.
He looked way better in this movie.
Oh, really? I just thought he had dirty hair with the eyeshadow, like for Batman.
That's what made him look great.
Really?
I thought he looked great in the bat suit.
Well,
he had the muscle.
As a heterosexual, maybe I'm not getting something, but okay.
There was a scene where you could see his eyelashes against like the sky, like the not quite the skyline, but like against like a sunset.
Yeah,
and it was just like, oh my gosh, he has long eyelashes.
And on that note, now we know George has a huge crush on Robert Pattinson Batman.
It's all right, George. You and all the other 14-year-old girls.
Oh my
no,
gosh.
I do too. All right, guys, we just got out of The Batman, as I said in the opening here. Today is the first day of the release.
Oh,
of this
I gotta
movie.
jump in and say that when I was at the gym today, they have a movie theater in the gym where you can run on the treadmill. They were playing the 1989 version of Batman.
You know that's not a coincidence. You think everybody working there's like, I just want to get off work and go watch Batman.
Go see Batman.
Yeah.
So I watched about half of the 1989. I think it's Michael Keaton.
Oh, Michael Keaton. Yeah. Full disclosure, this is my second time watching this movie. My first time was 3 days ago because a buddy of mine had extra fan tickets and he invited me to go see it. So we got to see it in IMAX, and then now I got to experience in Dolby. Full disclosure, there's a lot of story. Like watching it the second time, even with George, I was like, oh, like I did not pick up on that like the first time. Definitely this is a smart Batman movie. Like they're doing a lot of plot, a lot of story. I mean, it has great action. I think this movie has one of the best introductions to the Batmobile I have ever seen.
Yeah.
Like that Batmobile scene will make you go bananas. Like anybody, like it's so well done. And Colin Farrell as the Penguin just screaming while he's like trying to escape.
Was great.
You can't recognize him, but he's really good.
He was really good. He was perfect as the Penguin.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see like what they do with this character because I know like he signed a 3-movie deal to be in these movies. So
sure.
I mean, I think the Penguin's going to become more of a like a villain rather than the background villain that he was in this movie. I don't know the actor's name who played Riddler. He's really good here.
Very good. Very good.
Very menacing. Very like you can tell he's literally playing a game like Saw with Batman, and it's so well done.
So good.
So well done.
That was amazing.
And you got to really experience Batman, the smart detective. In the comics, he's considered the world's greatest detective. And every time I watch these Batman movies, I'm like, yeah, the gadgets are cool, and I know he knows kung fu, but he's also a really smart guy who can solve crime. That's why his superpower is his brain. Everybody in the comics knows that, but they never portray that in the movie. Maybe they have, and I've kind of missed it, but it feels like this is the first time I've seen Batman be a detective, and it was so well done. Like, he was like, he was doing crime scenes, he was investigating, he was trying to decipher the riddles, like, code, kind of like is the Zodiac Killer kind of a vibe, like where you have to decode the message and stuff. It was really good. Jeffrey Wright as Commissioner Gordon. I don't care if he's black. He is so good here.
Amazing.
He's amazing, and he's already been amazing. He was great in the French Dispatch that we just saw recently. He's been great in that HBO show that we watched where, what was
Westworld.
it? Westworld. Thank you, Jeffrey Wright. Every time he comes on screen, I just get really excited. I just think he's
He did a good job.
Yeah, like he is the next Morgan Freeman, Samuel Jackson. I feel like he was also in the 007 movie. He played the CIA agent. Yeah, and Jeffrey Wright here, like I don't care. It doesn't matter about his skin color. Jeffrey Wright was he's not Commissioner Gordon yet. He's a detective too. But he was great as Gordon. And the other thing that I really enjoyed about this movie, Gollum himself played Alfred, like Andy Serkis. He
was Gollum?
Mm-hmm, yep.
What?
He played Gollum, but his real name is Andy Serkis. But he's Alfred, and he is fantastic here. Look, this is not the best superhero movie. It is not the best comic book movie, but this is, in my opinion, the best Batman movie, if that makes sense.
I was going to say it's one of the best detective movies.
Also that, but again, like the comics were, they were detective stories, and where they're going, this film noir, like the idea.
Yes, I thought film noir that entire time. Yeah.
God, it's so. Every scene is so freaking gorgeous. Like, all Batman's doing, putting a flashlight on a door, and you're like, it's beautiful.
It's amazing.
Yeah, I know.
I gotta watch this more.
The music is great. The soundtrack is great. Zoe Kravitz, Lenny Kravitz's daughter.
Oh my goodness,
amazing.
yes.
Why is she not in more movies? Because this girl is. This is the best Catwoman I have ever seen.
Yeah.
And the chemistry even works, even though Robert Pattinson, like I said, doesn't talk much. But they had good chemistry. If that makes it's like Catwoman, Gordon, and Batman are like the trio of like trying to
Holy Trinity.
The Holy Trinity of Gotham to save Gotham.
Yeah, they really are.
Yeah, like the Riddler, I forgot his name. He was in There Will Be Blood. He's been in a lot of movies like that. I have seen. He's kind of, but I don't always think of him like big, but he's great here. His dialogue is fantastic.
Amazing,
he is absolutely terrifying, as much as Heath Ledger was as the Joker. He has his moments where like even when he's like when Batman is like talking to him, like their scenes together is very powerful, and you can feel that heaviness of like what's happening with the storyline and plot between these two characters. And he's like, it's so good. I don't want to spoil it, but there's some really cool like synergy between him and Batman, and how they go about saving the city. And I was really blown away by that. Yeah, I don't really know. Matt Reeves, you killed it. Like this is probably my like I said, this is my favorite Batman movie to date. Like I still love The Dark Knight a lot. Like I think The Dark Knight is still one of my favorites.
And let's not forget Lego Batman, my personal favorite.
Nah.
Lego Batman was hilarious. It was
no,
so
I liked
good.
it, but I didn't consider it a Batman movie. I considered it a Batman comedy.
Lego Batman.
Lego movie.
No, I know.
It was my favorite Lego movie. I'll say that much.
That's true.
Okay, yeah. Fair.
And just again, I can't say enough about it, guys. Like, my only complaint about this movie is the 3 hours. You feel it. Like, I mean, I loved it. Like, I'm glad it was 3 hours long.
I honestly didn't.
Well, that's good to know.
Yeah, and I thought I would.
And you didn't.
I normally feel every minute of every movie, but this and Spider-Man, no problem.
Wow, that's crazy. Okay, but it is a very long movie. You might want to empty your bladder. You might want to eat some food before you start watching, because there's a lot of story to be told.
Which is actually a good thing, I think. I think it'll help build their franchise a lot more by not rushing it.
That's true. I give you that.
I agree.
The other thing is, this is probably the darkest Batman movie I have ever seen. This is definitely not your campy Batman story here.
No.
This is a very serious, dramatic, like,
I don't think there
really...
was a single moment of comic relief in the entire movie.
Oh, there
were
was.
plenty of moments.
Like the Penguin, like trying to drive. I got you, and like his Colin Farrell's lines were fantastic.
They were good.
I also like the cop who's just like where Batman's trying to like go through the Riddler's space, Like he's trying to find it, investigate,
Yes.
and he just keeps talking over him. And Batman's like, "Why do you keep talking? Just stop talking."
I really did like that portion of it.
Yeah.
That there were some scenes where like he's going through evidence and like they don't just, it's not like the cops just completely ignore it. They're like, what's going on with this guy? Why is he doing this? Like,
Yeah.
which I thought was utterly hilarious.
Like, that's evidence, right?
In all of the other Batman movies, they're just like, well, it's Batman, they just kind of like let him do whatever he wants. But this one, they're like, is he supposed to be doing this? Like, it was great.
Just to add a final note, the action is fantastic here. The music, soundtrack is great. Everything about this movie just works. I think Robert Pattinson is probably now my favorite Batman. I'll be honest. He's like 90% of the movie. Bruce Wayne isn't even there. It's just Batman 90% of the movie.
Yeah.
And other movies, it's like 30-40% Batman and mostly Bruce Wayne. Here they're like, no, we're just going to keep Robert Pattinson in a costume and he's just going to be Batman throughout the movie, except for like a couple of scenes. And that was really cool to see. Like, we get to see Batman just doing Batman stuff, and it's awesome. I love this movie. This is easily going to be in my top 10. No, like, like last year, Spider-Man, like, it came out 2 months ago. We got the best Spider-Man movie, and now we got the best Batman movie. Yeah. We're getting spoiled here, and Doctor Strange is coming out in like a few months now.
And that'll probably be the best Doctor Strange
movie, right? So, we're just getting spoiled with like these comic book movies that are just being fantastic. I can't wait to see more. Shannon, I'm throwing it over to you. For me, it's like, go watch it now. Like, what are you doing? Go to your theater and watch it. That's my review.
Well, I'm a big fan of Gothic architecture, and oh my gosh, this movie is like Gothic architecture porn. It's so good. Like, everything in this movie is just like Gilded Age, stunning, beautiful, film noir. Like, every little detail, if they pick something up, it's well crafted. If they look at something or they touch something, if there's wallpaper, if there's a door, like the street that they're walking on, or when they're riding their motorcycles through the street, like the way the light reflects off of her gloves, and just every little detail is stunning. Like, every frame is a piece of artwork. I also noticed, I usually hate when movies are really gray and brown and don't have a lot of color in them. This movie literally only has black in it. Like, the entire movie is black, and then maybe sometimes they have some light sources that's like a glowing light color. But they could have filmed this movie in black and white, and you would hardly have even noticed the difference.
Ooh, good point.
Yeah, they could have filmed this movie in black and white because it is so film noir.
In a way, it does feel like a black... Now that I think about it, you're right. It really definitely felt like a very dark black, like a black and white film.
Yes.
In a lot of ways, because there are colors here and there, but mostly it just in a very dark setting. You're right.
Yeah, and I thought that because we were watching it in Dolby and the blacks were so black, there's like 3,000 different shades of black, and then the way the light reflects off of the black, or if it's a dull black or if it's a matte black, they have so many different colors to work with, just working with the one color. It's black. Well, there's white in it too, but it's mostly black with a little bit of reflection of light around it. And there's a point in the movie where he recognizes a character by her black boots, and that is an amazing feat to pull off in a movie where all 3 million characters are all wearing black boots.
You're not wrong. I can't disagree with you.
And you immediately recognize the boots.
Yeah.
You go, oh, those are black boots. I know what those are. And every single character is wearing black boots. So I usually can't even recognize people's faces, and they managed to pull that off. Well,
I think again, that's the talent that's being put, like costume design, set design, and really just like somebody. Matt Reeves is just a great director. I think the Planet of the Apes, the new trilogy, blew me away. Like how different it was from the 1960 movies, and
thank goodness.
Anyways, Shannon, keep going. Yeah. That's a side comment.
My favorite shot in this movie, there's a point where the bat and the cat are silhouetted against the bright
neon colors of the sunset.
Well, they're not even really neon. It's just like a soft glow of the setting sun or the rising sun, and they're silhouetted against each other, and they're both just in their pitch black costumes, and it just looked amazing.
The funny thing, I was like, I think Shannon's gonna hate this movie because it is an action movie, but I looked over at you and I can tell when you're
You know when
focused
I'm
and when
zoned out,
you're zoned out. This one you were like, I didn't see you pick up your phone once. You were so
I didn't. No.
like Spider-Man, you were like completely absorbed into this movie. Like it just
90
like overtook you.
90% of the movie I was totally zoned in.
Yeah.
And a lot of that is because it didn't have non-stop action. It had a lot of conversation and dialogue, and it had a lot of interesting puzzles. So every time they're telling you a riddle, or they're opening up a card, or there's something to solve, I'm like into it. Like I'm trying to figure it out with them.
Well, that's how, like, even in Spider-Man, the story always comes first before action.
Yes.
And the action is always better when the story is good.
Yes.
I can say that about Spider-Man. They did a really good job setting up all the characters and their stories and why the action was important.
Yes.
And I can say the same thing here. Like, the action does come, and there is a lot of action, and the action is good, but because of where the story and the characters and the plot and everything was like syncing so well, you suddenly become more absorbed in the action. That's what makes a good action movie compared to some action movies where you can totally see, oh, you're just throwing money. It's one of the reasons I didn't like that Ryan Reynolds
yes, I was just thinking of that.
Red Notice.
Yeah.
Like
that was
but the action does nothing for me. Like, because I'm like, it's just the story, and like sure, Ryan Reynolds is funny, but it's not doing anything for me to get excited about this action scene. I'm just seeing you throw money at it. That's a side comment, but yeah, I agree with you.
And when I can't get into the plot of the story, which is the case in a lot of these big action movies, yeah, I'm really bored because I don't really want to see car chases. Like, my boyfriend's trying to get me to watch Fast and the Furious, and I'm like, I cannot do 9 car chase movies. I just can't do it.
That's why I didn't invite you to go see the new Fast and Furious.
Right.
I already know you're not gonna like it. Yeah.
They're made for testosterone. I don't have enough of it because I'm a female. I don't want to watch cars.
How dare you? Why have you not told us this, that you're a girl?
I thought the long hair gave it away.
It's about family.
No, you haven't.
Family.
You remember Steven? He has long hair. I never would have guessed. Yes, sir. That might be longer than yours, actually.
Oh, well, probably.
Oh my God, you almost.
I was hoping there'd be a few other clues, but.
Steven's hair. Poor Steven. I'm not. I have to cut that out. I don't want Steven to hear. Or me laughing at it.
You would probably laugh.
That's probably true. You're right. Sorry, keep going. Just Georgia's comment just threw me off.
So yeah, I can get pretty bored at an action movie, and going into this, and as we walked in, Fahad said, "Just so you know, this is 3 hours," and I was like, "Fahad, I can't do 3 hours of this. I'm gonna, it's just so like I have things to do. I got places to be." But no, I enjoyed this movie. I would never have gone to see it on my own because I'm like, there are 30 other Batman movies. I've seen most of them. I know Batman.
There's only 6 Batman movies. It's not...
Whatever. There's so many Batman movies. Like,
okay.
Why do I need to see another one? Everybody knows the story.
Well, it's Spider-Man. You always want to see a new Spider-Man movie.
I do want to see... I do
this
like Spider-Man
one.
movies. Spider-Man's upbeat and fun. Batman is like all moody and dark and sad.
But when it works and you're in a movie like this, you're like, this is exactly what Batman should be.
Yeah. I mean, I will not go see this again. I don't need to be like Fahad and see it 4 more times.
I'm seeing it tomorrow. I saw it 2 days ago with a friend.
I know. I don't understand how.
Yeah, but you're going to watch Little Women like 8 times and I'm not, or whatever that skating movie is, and I'm like, oh my God, kill me.
Well, I, Tonya is the greatest movie ever, and I've seen it
14 see, like
times,
Beetlejuice and like all those like
Beetlejuice
whatever.
Beetlejuice is amazing.
Yeah, see, I'm not into it. I'm just like, okay.
The musical.
Oh, okay. But everybody has a taste. That's okay. I can. Yeah. You can appreciate a good movie when you see it. Like this one, you know, even if it's not your thing. Actually, this movie is your thing because it's all gothic and that's what you're into.
I do
so
like
never mind.
The gothic architecture. I kind of wanted him to just like take me on a tour of his mansion instead of like a mystery happening.
Oh my God, that's
like,
morning scene where like Alfred is trying to decipher the code and they're just sitting at a... I'm like, can you zoom into this amazing room?
Can I see the wallpaper behind him?
Screw the blueberries! Forget the blueberries!
I want to see the fireplace! Dang it!
No, it's true! Like, even the staircase. Like,
let me see the doorknobs!
Or like when when him and Catwoman are driving through Gotham and you just see like these flashing, like, Gotham City looks like Times Square but with like Gotham dark style. And like all the kids, and it's like it's Halloween, October 31st, and like people are just walking, and there's criminals, and it's rain. Oh my God! I'm gonna say this right now. I've never said this before about any other movie. Gotham is a character in this movie.
Yes, it is.
I have never seen Gotham portrayed like that in any other movie. I'm like, when you watch the Dark, like, oh, that's Chicago. Oh, that's New York. Oh, Ben Affleck,
Yeah,
Detroit.
yeah.
Like, they look like other cities. I'm like, this is not that exciting.
This didn't
but
look
here,
like any other city. This
yeah.
looks like this is Gotham.
they're like,
Yeah.
no. We're gonna make Gotham, and Gotham is gonna be its own thing.
I don't
it's
know
not
how
gonna
they
look
did
like
it.
any.
I don't know how they did it.
Money. Sorry.
They had to CGI in every single building because
But-
these aren't real.
But see, that's the
buildings.
thing. Like, even if they did, it didn't look like CGI.
No,
it looked like
it
a-
looked like a real place.
Like
that
a
I would
helicopter.
Visit. How do I go visit Gotham?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting fact. Did you know that when the Batmobile burst through those flames,
Yeah.
that was not CGI?
Wait, what?
Seriously.
How do you know that?
I know that because I had read something about that recently.
Oh.
They thought they were going to have to do CGI with it, but they actually were able to
Man.
actually do it.
Like, that introduction to that Batmobile.
It was phenomenal. And
It's-
it was just like Dolby is the place to watch that too.
Dolby's,
Because it
yes.
just rumbled and you're
It was
just
like,
whoa.
Like,
you
even-
could feel it was not like any other car out there. It was so good.
And yeah, no, you're right. No, George, you know what? Before we move on to you, Shannon, do you have any final thoughts?
If you're gonna see this, go see it in Dolby, because you're gonna want to appreciate. I've never said to go see a movie in Dolby before because I
That's
don't
true.
care. I don't care about Dolby, but oh my gosh, the love, like, this is like a love letter to the color black. This movie, and you got to see it in the true blacks. So go see this one in Dolby.
Yeah,
My first ever Dolby stamp of approval.
there you go. All right, Georgie Porgy.
All right. I've got to say I was kind of excited about this movie based off some of the trailers.
Mm-hmm.
I at first I really didn't like the I Am Vengeance part, but like watching it in the movie, that
Context.
grew on me. Yes, the
Context.
context in the movie is phenomenal, and
That's why
it's just-
That's why I just don't like trailers. Just to add to that, because the trailers don't really. I mean, like I like trailers, but it's just like
the trailers at
they're-
least let us know though that like there was gonna be good acting, that there was gonna be like phenomenal people playing these roles, which I gotta give it at
That's
least
true.
credit for that.
Yeah.
Because like prior to that, I'm like, oh, Robert Pattinson, like come on, like really, are we gonna watch him as Batman? But no, the trailer actually sold me as him being Batman.
Yeah.
So I do have to say I was like, the only thing I had wrong with that trailer was just the I Am Vengeance line, but then it made sense when I watched it in the movie. So maybe
Yeah,
if they had changed
because it
that,
comes back to the end, and you
Yes.
see what it means, and you're like, oh,
you're like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
You know, and like his commentary too kind of like it explains it. So
yeah,
I liked some of the changes that they had here, like the fact that the Wayne Manor wasn't actually Wayne Manor. So I don't know if you guys noticed, but Wayne Manor was on the Wayne building.
It was like in a skyscraper.
It was.
Yeah.
So, and it's referenced in a few different things, like the Riddler ends up saying something about that. You grew up way above everybody looking down on them.
Oh,
Like,
literally,
he
yeah.
referenced that. There were
but
a
it
few
still
other
has
things.
but it's still a mansion, though, isn't it?
No, it's actually on top of a
Yeah, they
skyscraper.
showed it. They showed when it.
And
Oh,
when
maybe I missed
Alfred,
that.
there's an explosion scene
Yeah, and
as
then you
well,
can see,
and that it shows the building smoking,
Yeah.
the skyscraper.
Oh,
So
I was
that's
like,
how-
why is that building on fire?
That was why. That was
Okay,
why. They
okay.
didn't do a very good job of explaining it, but it's kind of like the movie starts off
I
with
caught
him
it.
going underground, and you end up realizing, oh, he's going underground to, like, literally underground to the
Well,
skyscraper.
that's the cool thing that I liked about the Batcave, because it used to be a train station, but then it got shut down, and now just a Batcave in this train station. Because it's really
Yeah.
cool when they actually first showed the Batcave. I'm like, oh, I see rails. I see an old train over there. I see that tunnel, and I was like,
Yeah.
that's kind of cool that they turned it in the context of the movie. Like, if they are in a skyscraper, it's in a train station. That's the most logical
that makes sense.
Yeah.
And there were a few other changes that they did to the story as well that like added so much in regards to character depth, and like
Yeah.
some of the twists and turns and like questions of morals that they brought up were absolutely phenomenal. Like
Yeah.
I would have to say, like, this, the only time I had seen something close to this was literally in the Batman Telltales video game, which is something I think I had told you before that you should look into, because it has some serious, like, moral questions in there that are just phenomenal. But this I think this actually had it beat, because it had to do with his actual family and, like, him not realizing things that were happening as he was a kid. So, like, this this movie honestly had, like, anime level storyline, which
that's a high compliment coming from George.
But he's right, though. It feels
it
because
really
anime
felt like
characters don't actually speak. They just the
emote.
subtle emotion of the scene and the you're right,
and
like
George
faces.
is saying that
and
they
also
have really,
like the complexity of it.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
like I don't know if you, I forgot. Fahad, have you seen Code Geass?
Oh yeah, of course.
So you know, like,
I've
that
seen the
one
first
is
few episodes.
insane.
I haven't finished it, but
Oh
I
my
have
goodness.
seen it.
It's an extremely complex situation in that, and like political situation.
Isn't it kids fighting in a big robots like Gundam Wing?
You would think so,
But
but
no?
it goes a
Okay.
lot deeper.
Okay.
But anyways, that's kind of a little bit off topic. So back to this though. Some of the changes that they had in it, in regards to Bruce Wayne's family, were absolutely phenomenal. I mean, I thought it was absolutely brilliant that he actually, like, in all the previous Batman movies, there were no questions of morals in regards to his family that I recall.
none.
And I don't remember, like, any. I mean,
Yeah,
there might have been like, oh, well, they were rich people. That's so terrible. But,
I think in every story it's like
in this one, there was actually a question of, like, more there was a lot more depth to it. Like,
there's a lot of gray
was
lines.
somebody actually taken out by your dad? Like what exactly was this, you know? So
And they could have called this movie 50 Shades of Grey, you know.
oh my gosh. Oh man.
I'm glad they didn't call it that. I'll be honest.
Oh,
But I see what you're saying.
That's
Like
a good one.
Like the whole point of all the other Batman movies is like his dad and mom are trying to save the city because it is corrupted, and trying to do that they actually end up dying. And then, you know, Bruce Wayne watching his mom and dad try to do that, he kind of takes up the what is it called when you pass the baton? Like, he picks up the baton and is like, I'm gonna save the city. I'm gonna finish
the torch.
Yeah. Like he becomes Batman because he wants to continue his family's dream, and I can't say more than that because I think it'll be spoilers. But I actually had a little bit of a problem that I was saving for the spoiler review about how that plays into the movie. But that's not the point right now, though. But keep going. Sorry.
So, I think that pretty much sums up everything that I have to say. The only other thing I have to say is Batman on a motorcycle with his cape just flowing in the wind. I could watch that for hours. Like, oh, man.
Can I? We
felt
didn't.
good.
No, I agree. Would you say must watch? Sorry.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, this is our non-spoiler review. We are going to finish it up. It's a must-watch from all of us. Even someone who's not a Batman fan or into these movies, even got that approval from Shannon that she even enjoyed it. So you know everyone probably will like this movie some way, shape, or form, at least. For a Batman fan, for a comic book fan, you probably love it way more than your regular folks, but it's a great movie. Let us know what your thoughts are in the comments below. And if you've seen it, join us for our spoiler review, which starts now. Okay, I gotta say, the thing that bugged me about this movie, and you sort of kind of brought it up without going into spoilers, was I did not like that Martha had was put in a mental hospital and the dad had to cover it up. That was weird, man. Like
Martha.
Martha
that wasn't weird at all.
I thought so. That's not in the comic books. Bruce Wayne's mom doesn't
that's
go to the mental hospital. I did not like
Bruce Wayne's mom went to a mental hospital?
Not that it didn't work. Yeah, that was the entire subplot as to why the dad had
all of
to.
that.
And basically that he was trying to protect her from scrutiny, and so because of that, he was trying to stop this reporter who was looking into that.
Yeah, because Falcone tells Bruce Wayne, "Oh yeah, Your dad did this thing and he wanted me to cover it up.
Out.
Yeah, which is not true, because when he finally talks to Alfred, Alfred's like, your mom and dad weren't bad people, but your dad was trying really hard to protect someone he loves, which is totally understandable. He didn't want this like journalist to like write all over the newspaper saying that, you know, his wife, your mom is crazy, even though she is crazy. It's kind of personal to him. You don't want somebody like all over the newspaper saying like,
exactly.
You know, so like he's like, in that he was trying to get, like, he was bribing, but not for, but what Falcon did was he actually killed the person, like the investigator, but the father never actually said that, like, kill him. He just said, can you do something, so he just doesn't release it. And then when what's his dad's name? I know Martha is his mom's name. What's his dad's name? Thomas Wayne. Yeah. Okay, Thomas Wayne then tells Falcon like, oh, I'm going to the police right now, and that's when Falcon kills the parents, because when Thomas Wayne says, I'm going to the police to report you that you killed this journalist, he gets angry and he gets them killed. And that's the entire new subplot that's not there in the old movies.
Or it's assumed at least that he was the one that did it.
I mean,
which I prefer.
It makes it pretty obvious that he did it.
I prefer that method, because that makes it a lot deeper. You're not like, oh, I can actually pin this blame on someone.
Right. Because yeah.
We don't really know for sure, so we can't just go and say, oh, he did it, and like, you know.
But the movie's making pretty clear that more than likely he did do it. It wasn't just some thug who found them outside of the movie theater or the theater or whatever it is and shot them.
The problem is that Alfred said it actually could have been.
Right, because nobody has the evidence to say it, but the movie's making it very clear. What are the chances that the father goes, I'm reporting you to the police, and then he dies? Like,
exactly.
I mean, it's like putting two pieces in a puzzle together, and it's like, well, duh. Like, it wasn't just...
But thank goodness it wasn't hard evidence.
Well, whatever
that bothered me.
Whatever it was, like, I mean...
They had that in previous ones where he actually confronts the person who did it, and like that kind of bothers me, because it's like...
Well, technically, he also confronted the person who did it in this movie, because it's Falcone.
No, because it wasn't proven that it was him.
Yeah, but the movie's making it pretty clear that that's probably true, though.
That's jumping to assumptions, though.
But the movie...
He makes sure that he doesn't do that. That's part of him being a good detective.
No, I understand, but I think Alfred said, like, you're just a kid. I've been trying to get that answer for the last 20 years, and I've been investigating. I mean, they were never, like, because Falcone tells Batman, it's like, what do you think you're going to do? You're going to arrest me? Like, I'm going to go to my grave, and you'll never hear all the secrets. And he actually did die with all the secrets at the end of the day. But what I liked about that scene also was that Catwoman's mom and Bruce Wayne's parents both died by the same guy. And like, Bruce Wayne, who was looking for vengeance, is trying to stop Catwoman from going too far. It's like, doing this, you're just gonna ruin your life. And I love that, because like he explains it, like he's like, if you do this, your life is over, meaning you go to prison, you're done. And that's not, then he wins. But if you don't shoot him and you get justice, not vengeance, because she was ready to basically shoot him. She went there to shoot him. She went there with the mission to kill her dad, who he didn't know, but she was also there to kill the person that killed his mom. Right? So like all of that was like a great like twist on the whole situation with Catwoman and Batman.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to say, except that's really cool.
Yeah.
Anyways, what else you guys got for spoilers?
I was really disappointed that they didn't reveal the little orphan boy to be Robin. I wanted him to be Robin.
You know, I didn't think about it, but when you said it, I was like, wait, that makes sense.
It would
because
totally
he's an
make
orphan.
Sense.
Right.
And now Alfred saved the little orphan boy Batman, and now he's going to go save, what's Robin's name? Marlin something, I don't know, but
there's been like 4 Robins in the comic book, so I can't keep track of all of them. But I know the main one is he's in the circus, and that little boy was not in the circus. His dad was a politician. But
I don't care about the comic books. I care that, but like it's Batman and Robin, and we haven't had Robin in a movie in forever.
We had one in The Dark Knight Rises.
No, that's not this.
They did?
Yes.
Well,
they did.
Yeah, like the guy from Third Rock from the Sun. What's his name?
Oh, that kid?
Josh Gordon-Levitt.
Okay.
Josh Gordon-Levitt, thank you.
Yeah,
Was
yeah.
technically Robin without being Robin, and it didn't really go anywhere. They just introduced him as Robin,
Which
and
is
which is cool. But like that was the end of that story, and it was done. But at the same time, like I feel like there could have been more. We do need a Robin to come out, like, because right now, like, I feel like it's like time has passed enough where we can get introduced to a Robin. If they do a good job, which they totally could about this kid.
Well, we just got reintroduced to a new Joker, so I'm not sure if we can
So
have time
let's
for Robin.
okay. So let's talk about that.
Also,
So the
wait.
Joker introduction was really well done.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I knew who it was right away. We all knew who it was right away, right?
No, not quite.
Oh,
I
knew
was
it.
sort of thinking his face was scarred. I'm
I-
like, is it Two-Face?
I mean, it was one
yeah,
of
I
those
forgot about
things that it
Two-Face.
was like
The laugh.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. The
For me,
laugh.
it was the laugh because he has the
For
classic
me,
laugh.
it was as soon as he told a joke. That's when I was like, okay, now
Well,
we know he's the joke.
No, he said, sometimes the world considers you a clown, and I was like, oh yeah,
Yeah,
that's Joker.
that's when
Yeah.
I knew it was the Joker. Yeah.
And everybody, and he's telling the Riddler, like, you know, everybody Gotham loves a comeback story, so like he
Yeah.
wants to use Riddler, which is, you know, like honestly, when you look at the Riddler, he does a lot of ways be the Joker, except like Riddler is legitimate, even though he's also a psycho Riddler. He's trying to clean up the city, while Joker is just trying to bring chaos. Without any like moral, like not that the Riddler had moral, but he had a reason.
Riddler was trying to clean up the city.
In
He
the
was, actually,
the commissioner, the mayor, every
That
single
was-
person he was killing.
That was something I actually would like
Yeah.
to bring up because like this is another situation. Like I know a lot of people somewhat sympathize with the Joker in
Yeah.
the Dark Knight.
Yeah.
In this case, it was more sympathizing with the Riddler, just because he actually was trying to do something to clean up the city, and the thing about it was basically his where was I going with this? Oh my goodness.
What I until
Sorry.
you think about that, I'm gonna.
Okay.
I have something to say to that. I like that the Riddler was basically looking at Bruce Wayne / Batman. The reason he kept sending those letters to Batman is because he thought him and Batman were on the same side, and the Batmans are like, I don't murder people and go psycho. Like,
Right,
you
right.
you're gonna die alone, and you're a psychopath. And Batman made it very clear we are not the same. Like,
Right, we're
I definitely want to bring justice, and justice is important. But what you want to do is murder people, and that's not okay. That's not how justice works. And like that scene is so freaking powerful. And then he goes like, and I love the way the Riddler says his name, like, who's behind the mask? Bruce.
Oh, he did such a
Wayne.
good job.
Bruce. And like. And like, you know, he's like, you're like, it doesn't matter what you think, like what you're doing is just plain wrong. We're not on the same side. And like him just losing it after Batman basically tells him like we're not on the same side is so perfect. And I really also love the fact that the Riddler also saw like the entire system as corrupt, because
I have a theory on
Okay.
on that scene there. So I actually think that basically Batman, like, yes, he knew obviously that the Riddler was messed up, and he knew that, like, you know, basically they weren't on the same side. But I think until that scene where he actually called out Bruce Wayne,
yeah,
he actually could kind of understand where the Riddler was coming from. And then in that moment when he called out Bruce Wayne, that's when Batman actually got scared, and that's when he calls out the Riddler and starts calling him a psychopath. Because I don't know if you noticed, but like he drew back at that point,
Yeah.
and then afterwards he just lashed out at him.
Yeah.
so does that mean the
So-
Riddler is just gonna know who Batman is, but he's not gonna tell anybody? Is that, or tell the
No,
Joker?
I think he actually didn't know that was Bruce Wayne.
He's guessing.
No, I don't think it was that he was guessing. I think he was just basically rambling, because Bruce Wayne was the one that got away.
Oh, it's because he's
So
crazy. So if he
he's
tells
crazy.
anybody,
So basically,
yeah.
he was basically saying that Bruce Wayne is the one that got away from the two of them.
What?
That's what he was saying.
No, he was
Yes.
saying that you are Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
No, he
No,
wasn't.
no, he was.
It was written all over the walls.
Yeah,
I know who you are.
Yeah. No, he does know.
He knows.
He does know, but you're right. Also, he's a psychopath. That even if he told somebody, they'd be like, "Yeah, Bruce Wayne is Batman." Like nobody's really gonna believe him.
I don't know.
But this is my second time watching, so I can at least say for a fact that
he'll use it as blackmail.
because because again, like the second time I watched it, I'm like, oh, that's why he kept sending the Batman letters, because they were both orphans, like he said. They were both. The only difference between him being an orphan is he got trashed, right?
Except he tried to target Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, he did.
He did, but he also discovered in that moment when he was starting to target Bruce Wayne, he is smart. That he figured he's a psychopath. No, he's crazy, but doesn't mean he's not smart. And he figured out that, oh, Bruce Wayne is Batman. He's doing the same thing I'm doing. We're both orphans. But the only difference is you get to look down on people because you're rich and money. You have the money to do it, while people like me are like in the bottom trying to fend for ourselves with no money. That was the entire point of the Riddler.
So that justifies killing half the city.
Exactly, because for him, like he really does want vengeance, and Bruce Wayne, I guess he thought vengeance was the answer to these criminals, like he said, like putting fear of people. Like I love that shot actually. I didn't even talk about this, but like the opening scene where like all the criminals are just looking at like dark alley, dark tunnel, dark hallway or door.
They were all Joker copycats, because this movie takes place right after the Joker.
No, it doesn't. Well,
this is completely different.
No. They all had white makeup on that was running.
No, she's right. She's right. In the comics, the Joker has like random clowns, and
remember
they didn't have the face.
The Joker movie, all the copycats come out at the end.
Like there was one that he would have been more so.
They were wearing white face paint with green eyes and red lipstick, and it was running in the rain.
Another one you could have said was basically like a black and white version of Red Hood, and then basically
they were Joker copycats.
The group was Joker. So
the first group at the beginning was the Joker copycats. Remember at the end of the Joker movie, there's like 1 million Joker copycats out in the streets.
But that's a different Joker. That's not this Joker.
Right, but I'm saying like in this universe.
You know, she could be right. It's a good theory, but we don't know for sure until the next movie.
And the problem is that like there was no mention of the Joker.
Well, yeah,
we just know
jail.
The Joker. Well, yeah, but that's where the Joker starts out. And at least if I recall in like the comics, it's like he was in Arkham first, and then he comes out and he starts just tearing the town to shreds.
Right.
And then he's back and forth, in and out, and just causing all kinds of mayhem.
Well, he's obviously in jail.
It says the city loves a comeback. Batman put Joker in jail before this movie started.
He could have, possibly.
Yeah, 100%. I guarantee it, because he said he said everyone loves a comeback.
Yeah,
and then the movie starts off with a bunch of people in white face paint with
he was referencing Riddler, saying that everybody loves a comeback, and
he was talking about himself. He wanted to make a comeback.
And there's plenty of
I guarantee it.
There's plenty of other.
Well, we'll find out, right?
I will make a bet for Batman 2 right now that this whole universe took place right after Batman locked up the Joker, and that's why there's Joker copycats running around.
Well, yeah, because this is second year. This is year 2 of him being Batman. We know that much. What was going on the first year? We have no idea. But criminals do know who Batman is. He has been putting criminals, capturing them.
Yep.
We do know that, like, even though he's still young Batman, he's still Batman long enough, like, where he's not completely. So who knows? Like, maybe the Joker got caught by Batman. Maybe the Joker is just a criminal who was caught by the police, for all we know, and by, Gordon. It's something to definitely think about. I do think the sequel is setting up a Joker Riddle movie. It's kind of obvious at the end. Like, maybe the Joker will take the lead. Okay, so fun thing about that is, do you guys remember the Eternals?
Yep.
The guy who started a cult in the Amazon.
Oh, yeah.
That's the Joker. Oh. That's the same actor.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so
nice.
And he has that voice. I just watched Eternals again. Like, his voice is so commanding.
Joker.
Yeah, so the cast, I'm like, okay, so you're Eternal, but you're also the Joker, so you're in Marvel and DC, so that's kind of cool.
There's not too many people that did Marvel and DC either.
Ben Affleck, Daredevil, Batman.
Oh.
Well,
but they were pretty split up. I mean, it wasn't like they weren't into active projects at the same time.
No, that's true.
I think the closest was
you might be right.
Spider-Man. Somebody from Spider-Man.
No.
All the Spider-Man guys.
No, they weren't DC.
Oh, they were just.
That's Sony.
They were just Sony. Yeah.
That makes sense.
But they're. No, that's Marvel. Spider-Man's Marvel.
Yeah, Sony and Marvel.
Anyway.
We know that Chris Evans was fantastic because he was the fire guy in Fantastic Four.
That was probably the closest timeline to DC
and now he became
Marvel.
Captain America, right? Ryan Reynolds was Green Lantern, then Deadpool.
Yeah, but that was more split up.
No, I'm just thinking of. Sorry, I'm just thinking of actors in my head. Catwoman, DC, Halle Berry, also Storm in X-Men.
Yeah.
Okay.
That one was actually rather close.
Anyway, so.
Oh yeah, sorry. I just wanted to talk about the Joker.
Final thoughts on this? Oh, I really want to see Poison Ivy.
There is a prequel comic that introduced. Weirdly enough, there's a prequel comic that came out. Check it out, guys. Where Batman catches Mr. Freeze, and I think one of the villains is a girl. It could be Catwoman, but it also could be somebody else. And it could be Poison Ivy for all I know.
We don't have to do it just like the comics. We can just have
no.
Poison
There's
Ivy just for
no.
fun.
You're not understanding what I'm saying. There's a prequel comic just to this movie. That's a prequel comic.
Oh, to this movie.
To the first year, because this is the second year of Batman. But you can see Robert Pattinson's Batman in the first year and what he's been up to, and how the police and how Gordon got to trust him, because that's not in the movie. They just kind of have this relationship. Okay. But they did a prequel comic talking about how Gordon and Batman came together.
That is some dedication.
That's what you see if you go to that link at the very end.
Maybe, I don't know. I sat through IMAX with a friend and we were like, and then it was literally just a website. And
I really thought that they were gonna have an end credit sequence where they reveal that the little boy is gonna be Robin.
Oh no, that would be too soon.
But he's 10.
Too small.
Because you got to remember, when Robin gets introduced in Batman, Batman's been Batman for like a decade.
I don't care.
Nope.
I want to see.
She just wants the cute boy to wear the Robin suit
Robin
and beat
is
people
the
with the
minimum
stick.
age of like a teenager.
Yeah, but he's about 10 in this, so they.
Well, you never know. I don't think it's going to be in the second movie.
In 3 years, when they make a movie, he's going to have some more teenage hormones. And
I think the
13,
boy's
14.
presence was the reason the boy was important is because he saw
an orphan. Yes.
He saw himself. In that boy.
Of course. But that would be a perfect intro for Robin.
That's true.
They should have aged the boy up like 2-3 years.
I mean,
I think he might have been too old at that point. They wanted it. They wanted Batman to see this kid going through it at the same age as he did.
I wouldn't be shocked by third or fourth movie if Robert Pattinson continues to be Batman. That's when he gets introduced. Definitely not in the second movie. No. Definitely not in the second movie. But definitely down the road, third or fourth. That would be awesome. That would be awesome. Because he's what, like 12 right now? Yeah. And you see him fighting with... Okay, you know what?
Yeah,
he was fighting. He was a little kid with a sword, and he was kind of doing Robin-y things with his dad.
He?
That's right.
Oh, my goodness.
I told you. He's
okay. Because you're right.
He's exactly the right age right
There's
now.
There's a Robin who's an assassin who's also... works in the underground, and his dad raised him to be... Oh, my gosh. You're definitely onto something here that I didn't put it together, but it could definitely happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. But I just don't want it, like George said, I don't think I want it in the second movie. I just want it in a later movie after
Somebody go look up that kid's contract. How many movies is he signed on for? Because if they do a 3
You can do that.
deal,
I don't really need
it
that
takes like
badly.
3 years to shoot a movie. So they would start with a
watch
9-year-old
him
now.
be in like a 2-movie deal, but it's like over 10 years.
Yeah.
No,
That's
but
true.
listen. Robin is a teenager. So if he's 9 now, then in the next movie he's going to be 12, and then in the next movie he's going to be 15.
Yeah, that's probably the right age to be Robin if they did that by the third movie. Right now he's 12, then it'll be 14, then it'll be like 16, 17, which is the prime age. It could be. I'm not saying it's going to be. This is just theories, but it could be.
He's like 9, maybe 10 in this movie.
Okay.
So give him 2 years and he's going to look like an adult. Like he's going to look a lot older.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, final thoughts. It's already filmed. It's done. We have 2 new shows coming right after the Batman. We got the Penguin TV show. Colin Farrell is playing the Penguin.
Oh,
and
wow.
you get to, it's coming on HBO Max, so don't get rid of it. Because,
Thank you for letting me know.
And then we got the GCPD TV show, which is basically a prequel.
Police Department?
Okay. Yep. And you get to see, like, and they have side stories with it's just Gordon being Gordon with police officers.
Yeah.
And
Honestly,
you got the
though, I would watch that because
it's Jeffrey Wright.
Jeffrey Wright is so phenomenal.
And Colin
I would
Farrell's
actually
Penguin.
watch
So I don't need Batman. I mean, you got Colin Farrell, and you got. I would love a. You know what I would do? What they should have announced was a Catwoman show, because when they drive away and Batman goes back to Gotham, it was
Where is she? Yeah,
yes.
where's she
I'm like,
going?
maybe do a spin-off of Catwoman. Like she's what's her name? Zoe
Kravitz.
Kravitz is so good here.
She is
Yeah.
really
Like,
good.
give her a TV show. Do her little thing where she's like robbing rich people who are assholes in another city. Maybe go to Metropolis. Maybe go to wherever
And
Flash
eventually
lives.
She comes back to rob Bruce Wayne.
That'd be really funny.
Somebody get HBO Max on this right now.
That's like totally what it was leading up to. As soon as she said like robbing people, I'm like, oh, she's gonna go rob him.
Well,
like,
Anne Hathaway's Catwoman in Dark Knight Rises stole from
Exactly.
Bruce Wayne. I remember
Yep.
that.
Oh.
And Anne Hathaway, I liked Anne Hathaway as Catwoman, but Zoe Kravitz
Wow.
is
And I mean,
just
was
like
really good.
in the Gotham TV series, I mean, like Selena Kyle stole from Bruce all the time.
yeah,
So
right. She's basically stealing from Batman, but she doesn't realize like the
Yeah.
reason he knows all this and the way he can find her is because it's
Batman.
Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you stole from me, but he doesn't say it. But he just like she just doesn't understand. I loved the chemistry between Catwoman. This is the best we've ever seen of Batman Catwoman. Like no hands
Yeah.
down, not Michelle Pfeiffer, not Anne Hathaway, not Halle Berry. This is like, oh my god, the way they did Catwoman in this movie, I didn't know I needed it, but I'm so glad I got it because she is so good here.
She really is.
And she's trying to find her friend.
Okay.
She's trying to.
My favorite scene was the one where he's like, wait, look me in the eyes, and then he's just staring at her, and then he's
You
like,
know
okay,
he did it
that's-
because she
that's
thought
good.
he thought
Yeah.
she was hot. Let's be honest. Like she's gorgeous, man. Like
No, it was really to check that, but that was so perfect about
yeah,
it.
that's the other thing we know with the tech here. The tech that Batman uses here is
really
so
cool.
cool. Yeah, like I've never like eyeballs, and he can replay it, and he watches like all the things he saw as Batman, and like zooms in on different things because there's like a camera eyeball thing going. I mean, all that stuff like is so cool. Like I don't think I've seen that in other Batman movies. You got in The Dark Knight with Morgan Freeman where you use cell phone signal to find the Joker. And I
Yeah.
remember that. And that was cool. But here, this is like investigator Batman. You know what I'm saying? Like investigator, detective, and like, yeah, that, and then he, he gave it to Catwoman, but she's like, all right, we're done with this, and she takes it out or whatever. That
Yeah.
was really funny. But like, yeah, the tech here is really cool. I want them to do more stuff. I hope the sequels. This is my final thought before we close off this review, and you guys can have final thoughts too. But Mike, like, let's keep Batman being a detective. Let him solve
Yes.
crimes and find criminals.
Yes, I agree.
Yes.
Like, and not do the whole superhero thing where he finds Superman and saves the world from a meteor or whatever that they do, and like the big.
Maybe-
Like, I keep him grounded.
He can bring some of them in a little bit later, like when he can't handle Gotham on his own anymore.
No,
but-
I don't know. I don't want them to do that. It's like, I love the new Spider-Man movies. They're great. Like, I love Tom Holland. But one of the things that I liked about Spider-Man is he's your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man finding criminals.
Yeah.
And like,
I've
they've
watched-
kind of gotten rid of that.
I saw a meme about that where basically it's like, Superman, he's in charge of the world, then you
Yeah.
have Batman, he's in charge of or no, it wasn't. I'm trying to remember. Hold up. It was the Marvel universe. So it was
Okay.
It was like Eternals are in charge of like basically worlds, and then you had like Avengers were in charge of Earth, and then
Right. Or
and then you
Mightiest
had-
Heroes.
Yep, and then you had basically it was like it kept going down in like the area that they were
Yeah.
taking care of,
Yeah.
and like so then there was obviously your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man was
Yeah.
in charge of New York.
Yeah.
And then it went down to Daredevil, and he's got like one block in Hell's Kitchen where just like stuff
Yes.
is crazy.
Yes.
It was
That's true.
hilarious.
All right, guys. This is for us. Let us know what you think.